What's up, tea drinkers? Who's ready to spill? Welcome to The Tea with KG, hosted by your girl, Kaylee Grace. Here you'll find your weekly boost of real talk mixed with laughter, healing, and all of those vulnerable, messy moments in between. The Tea with KG is a safe space for you to show up exactly as you are. We are here to share real-life stories from around the globe and be a community of love, joy, and celebrating life. This is a real deal show, so there will be coarse language and sensitive topics discussed. The most beautiful stories oftentimes emerge from the darkest of places, and we're here to explore it all. There's room for everyone at this tea time, so grab your drink of choice, spark it up, or just relax and soak it up. Cheers, and let's spill. What's up, tea drinkers? We are here to spread the sparkle here on your Tea Time Tuesday. Still vibing in Sagittarius season. Shout out to all my Sagittarians out there. We've got another full moon coming up December 7th, this time in Gemini. It's the last full moon of 2022. So if you are feeling that full moon energy, that is why. I can't believe it is December. Here in Vancouver, it's like way colder than usual early. We've even got snow before my hometown, Miramichi, New Brunswick, which is unheard of. If any of you are from New Brunswick or you've been there, you know winters in New Brunswick are something. So we are feeling a little bit of the cold here on the West Coast right now, but one thing I guess about Vancouver, the snow is short-lived, so I'm not going to complain. And also Benson is just loving the snow. He's so obsessed. It is adorable, so I love watching him play in the snow. He's just so friggin' cute. He just makes it so much better, and yeah, just seeing him frolic is amazing. It's so hilarious. If you are a Benson fan, make sure you check out our Instagrams. Usually I'll post him both on the Tea with KG Instagram account and also just my regular Kaylee_Grace_ Instagram account. So if you're a fan of Benson, you can go give us a follow over there, and he makes lots of appearances in stories and on the grid. So shout out to our favorite furry co-host, Benson. Speaking of social media, we're going to dive in and chat a little bit about social media, the culture that we are in. It's our reality right now, very much in this era. I mean, it's been years. It's so crazy how time goes so fast. It feels like it wasn't that long ago, but it has been a very long time that social media has been in our lives. And I've been talking about this with different people, and it's just so interesting how this beast of social media has grown and shifted and changed how we live and changed our lives, changed our business, like changed everything. And I believe there's positives and negatives to it. It's like anything in life. There's going to be parts that are great and parts that are more challenging or not so great. So, a lot of the positives we see are the sense of community and the connection that you can get from social media. You can talk about different issues that are important and need awareness brought up. It can be great exposure for artists, entrepreneurs, promote your business. You can express your creativity. But on the flip side of that, I find, that instant gratification, it seems to be like what our world is chasing. And it feeds into that urgency culture as well. Like, we need it now. We don't want to wait. We need everything now. We need to message now. And it's just exhausting. I'm like, okay, we need to take a step back. And I just feel like in recent years, I've taken a huge step back from social media in comparison to what I did at one time. And I'm so grateful for that journey, because I came up through when all social medias, I was in the university era when Facebook came, and then Instagram, all these different platforms started to come about And I've watched it grow and transform, and what it was at one time, that's not at all what it is now. And it's just so interesting to me, like the evolution of it. And I've always been someone who loves taking pictures before smartphones were a thing. Like all my life, love taking pictures. We always had photo albums, lots of pictures in frames, like just always loved pictures. And then, as we grew up, we had the digital cameras and we would take them. Yes, I was that girl. I had the camera out at the bar, out at all the parties, everywhere. We had the camera and we were obsessed. And me and the girls, we would do these photo shoots, and we found the self-timer on these cameras, and we were like pros at the selfies before the smartphones. And it was always the best time. And then when social media came about, we would post. And at that time, there was like a limit on the albums on Facebook. So you could only put 60 photos. So we would have like 3 albums of just us taking pictures. And it's so funny. Like, it's just different poses. Tracy, I'm going to shout you out. There was all of us girls. We all did it. But me and Tracy took it to a different level. With the pictures and the photo shoots and the props. I'm not going to get into details. We'll have to have Tracy on an episode and we can talk about all our funny stories because, me and her, we have quite a few. But anyways, we loved it and we would post them, and there was no filtering of the photos either. It was, we post them all. And the more funny they were, the more likely they were getting posted. Sure, we would delete some, but it was not like what it is now. Now you get the money shot and you're done. You don't need to take 5,000 photos. I mean, we still do, of course. Got to make sure you get the money shot, but you're not posting every single outtake of that, right? Because it's for the highlight reel. You don't get the whole. I mean, sometimes you'll throw in some funny pictures, but it's just not to the same extent as what it was back in the day. Anyone who was in that era knows what I'm talking about. It was just a completely different time. And that's the thing. I feel like with the growing of social media, it's taken such a turn for perfection, it's so awesome to see the real content out there that's not always picture perfect. And I mean, there's nothing wrong with wanting your pictures to look nice. I am freaking here for it, honey. Get that gorgeous picture, post it, do your thing. I love it. All I'm trying to say in that regard is it can skew people's perception, you may look at an account and it just looks so perfect and beautiful all the time. But we forget, everybody's human. Just because something looks one way on the outside, that doesn't mean that's what's going on the inside. Everybody has a story. Everybody's been through something. You don't know anything about a person that you may see their account, and people are so fast to judge now, or to take one part of a story and not even read the rest, or one part of a caption and judge based on that. And it's did you read the whole thing and understand the context the person was speaking in, or did you even bother to know who this person is before you decided to judge them based on what they look like? And it's sad to see it. Half the times people don't, so a lot of people share a lot, but from someone having gone through different evolutions with social media myself, from going from posting in one way when social media was first out to then transforming into posting just the money shot. And then, I got into an entrepreneurial venture where sharing and opening into your life was encouraged. And I totally get it. It's so people can connect with you and get to know you. So then they can decide if they want to work with you with your business or buy products from you. So typical network marketing kind of model. And it's totally cool. And I think it's really important for us to share to whatever extent we're comfortable with. But I feel like I've transitioned out of that type of sharing, to the extent it was, and fallen into a much more natural form of sharing. And it's definitely so much less though. I feel like now I'm oh man, I really want to share all these pictures, but I'm it's so much effort for me to have to go back, post all the pictures I want, because I'm also kind of OCD with that stuff. I'm I want to do it in chronological order, but I'm also just I can't, it's too much. So one of these days on the personal Kaylee_Grace_ Instagram, you're going to see bam, just all of the pictures being posted. The worst thing that any social media marketing person would tell you to do. But I'm also just like, you know what? That's what I'm going to do with this. I feel like on the podcast Instagram, it's like much more of a flow. I know what I'm doing there. And I feel like I could definitely share more over there too. But I'm trying to do this in a way that still stays true to me and honors what I need right now. And the main thing is getting this content out there for you every Tuesday. That's the focus. That's where I'm at. And I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to keep honoring that, because that at the end of the day that's what matters, is giving this podcast to all of you beautiful listeners. Just want to give you all a shout out while we're here, feeling the gratitude, want to express that gratitude to you that you're here, you're listening, you tune in every Tea Time Tuesday, and I just really appreciate it always. So you know me, when I'm feeling the vibe, I'm going to share it with you, because it's meant to be shared and received. So I hope you all are feeling that gratitude and that love and that sparkle. I'm sending it to each and every one of you who is listening or catching this on YouTube right now. Whew, all right, had to get those feelings out. I was feeling them. I went all the way over there, all the way away from the social media talk. But did we expect anything less? No. But going back, to me talking about like the evolution of my posting, I feel like, yes, I could definitely ramp it back up again. But I'm just going to let that flow, and when it's right, it'll happen if it's right, and whatever is meant to be shared will be shared. And what I do love is, regardless of if I post or not, my phone, I constantly have to go in and try and find pictures to delete, because I am always at the end of my storage. And I have so many beautiful photos, from all the time, but from the past 2 years of me living here in Vancouver, my phone is full of so many beautiful moments and memories, and I just cherish them so much. And I just want to put this out there for everyone so we can kind of take the pressure off ourselves. Just because you don't put it in your story or on your feed, I know this joke, everyone's going to say, oh, if you didn't post it, it didn't happen. Well, I'm going to tell you the opposite of that. Look at your albums on your phone. That's where it matters, because that's what's real. Those are those moments with your family, your friends, you in solitude in nature, your pets, something pretty you decorated, your Christmas tree, like all your memories that bring you joy. It doesn't matter if you post them for the world to see. And if you do, go for it, honey. Like, you do you. Whatever speaks to you, go ahead and live it and do it. But I just want to put this out there just to like take the pressure off. That's it. Whatever fuels you and makes you feel good and happy, go for it. But if you're feeling pressure to do so, don't even, just let that go. Because you know what? At the end of the day, it's about you, who you surround yourself with, how you move, and those beautiful memories that are in your albums or on your walls. I love having printed photos out. Like, I have printed photos all over my apartment. I have to go print some new ones. I have so many more new memories that I just cherish and I love. And it's amazing to capture those moments. I feel like I'm always going to be like that. It doesn't matter how technology changes. I love having my pictures. And like growing up and stuff, like I would make the girls like collages of our pictures as gifts. Like, oh my God, there used to be a Starbucks travel mug, and you could put photos in it. So I went in and made like the craziest collage. They were pretty extravagant. So many pictures. And yeah, I'm like, let's bring back printing pictures. But yeah, back to the point with the social media. Just because you don't post it doesn't mean you don't have a happy and fulfilled life. You've got everything you need. And as long as you're happy and living, that's all that matters. And you can showcase it as much or as little as you want, or as sporadically. I feel like I'm a sporadic sharer. Like, I will a lot and then I don't. And then I'm like the ocean, right? The ocean wave. I'm in, I'm out. The ebbs and flows of life. But I feel like that's just life. That's just what's up. There's only so much you can do, like I'm not going to put too much pressure on myself when I'm just trying to be like, you know what? I just want to create something beautiful for everybody's earwaves out there. That's what we're gonna do. I feel like it's great too because lessening the extent of the social media use is better just in general, right? Like just in life. Because like neurologically, too much consumption of anything is going to have an impact. I was talking to my partner and like one of my friends the other day about how when I was younger, like, before social media was a thing, I remember like if I was watching TV for too long or like looking at screens too long, I was like, I need a break. Like I could feel it. I was like, I literally can't watch anymore. I need to go outside or go do something creative or read or do something that's not looking at a screen. And I feel like like the limit does not exist. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like I don't feel like I get like that like I do and I don't. You know what I mean? Like when I was younger, it was very like vivid, the feeling. I was like, nope, no more screens. Now, yeah, sure, you'll get there, but I feel like we always end up looking at our screens anyway. Like you'll still check your phone, like even if you're reading or trying to take space away, unless you're doing like an activity or you know what I'm saying, at the gym or meditating or something like that where your eyes are closed or you're in an activity. That's different. But just in general in life, like I know for work, I'm always looking at a screen, the phone, there's, you got your Netflix on, you got all these things with screens, and it's just like so much. And it's just too much sometimes, too much excess, right? And one of the most healthy things I could have done for myself, I think I've mentioned this a couple times on this podcast, but I turned my notifications off on like everything. Like on Instagram, I never had them on since I got the app, so that wasn't a problem. But like Snapchat, Facebook Messenger, like all of the ding 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 all the time, I was just like, I can't handle this. It's too much. And you'd see the notification and you'd feel the need to check. So I always heard people say, turn the notifications off. And I was like always wanting to do it, but just never did. And then one day I just did it. I turned them off and I've never looked back since. It's literally the best decision I've ever made. I'm like, why did I not do this sooner? Like I still have them on for text because I feel like that's if something's really important and someone really, really needs me, they'll text me. But it doesn't bother me as much with text. I feel like with the other ones, like, if you're in group chats or something on Facebook, it's just like ding, 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 like it's too much sometimes. So yeah, just completely turning the notifications off was a godsend because when you're ready to look at the app, then you'll look at it and then you'll be like, okay, I'm ready to answer these messages now. And sometimes you're still not ready and you just look in the app by habit just because we're so trained to just constantly float through all the different apps all the time. But it definitely is better because when you go to look, you may be expecting a message and you're like, okay, sweet, now I can answer that. It's not always perfect, but it definitely is a helpful thing. And I'm surprised. Like I always was like, oh yeah, I'll do it. I knew it would help, but I didn't think it would help this much. So just throwing that out there. If anybody's been curious about turning their notifications off, I'll give you my experience. And so far, so good, like I said. I do feel like it's important for us to take breaks from social media. It's good to have limits, and the nervous system and the body, it's just not made to be constantly looking at screens all the time and having like the instant gratification all the time. And just, I feel like it can kind of disconnect us from reality in a way. Like, yes, it's a way to stay connected, but it skews your reality because a lot of stuff we see, it may not be real, but people think it's real, or they'll read, like I said, a snippet of one little article and take it as truth when it's actually not at all the right context. Like there's just so many ways that our perception can be skewed, and it's just so wise for us to keep an open mind and don't take one thing as the only answer. Like do your research, look into things, ask questions. Like that's how we can educate ourselves and be informed and understand what's going on. If you can move through this world and leave a good impact and staying true to yourself and your alignment and doing what feels right to you and saying, screw what everyone else thinks, like this is about you and your journey. It's not about anyone else. I know it's hard sometimes to not care about what people think, and we're all like, I'm guilty of it too. Like it's not saying I'm perfect at this, but it's just important to remember that honoring your soul and your path, that's what's important. And when you're moving in love and you're moving in light, you're not doing anything wrong, and the right people will appreciate you and they will celebrate you. And that's the tea, honey. That's what's up. Like, it's about living and loving and laughing. And I just feel like if we embody that more, this world would just be pretty rad, sparkly place to be. Not that it's not, but there's also a lot of really horrendous stuff going on in the world. And there's always ways we can make this world better and help and do our part. And it doesn't mean you have to save the entire world. And that's hard to, as a lover and someone who just wants beautiful, good things for people, it's hard to not want to be saving the world or having that mentality of, oh, is this even doing anything? But yes, it is. Like, it doesn't matter the size or complexity or, vastness of how you're spreading your love and light. It's just a matter of you spreading it, because that's what's going to continue to create that. And whatever you can do to spread that, do it. And that will translate. The people who come to your life, you will help them and you will have a positive impact on them. And that will spread. And same with bringing awareness to important issues and contributing however you can. Like, there's such an endless amount of resources out there. Like, I love Google. You can find out a lot of information. And again, use your discernment. You have to research and make sure what you're reading is accurate, but you can stay informed and find ways that you can be of assistance in whatever's in your control, and any little bit helps. So don't ever feel like what you do is not enough, because it is. It is. It's like a collective thing, right? We're all going to impact people in different ways. And it's so freaking beautiful and magical, because that's why we're able to reach the amount of people we do, is because everyone has a story that is different and unique to them. And there's going to be people that connect with you. And it's awesome to think that as humans in this life, we have that ability. How do our chats always end up in these philosophical places? That's just always where we go. But I feel like anything in life can always connect back to that. I find it's helpful when you take that step outside and look at it from the bigger picture. I feel like it can really help put life back in perspective sometimes. And, there's going to be those moments where life doesn't make any sense. And it might not make sense for a while. But eventually, with time, however much is necessary for each person, when you can get to that point of finally taking a step outside and looking at the bigger picture and zooming out, it's pretty amazing how it can change our perception of life and how we approach the world, because it makes a lot of what we complain about feel really insignificant. You know what I mean? Like, it's important to celebrate what we have and be grateful and stop comparing to what we see on social media and thinking that it dictates your worth, because it does not. Like, especially with Christmas stuff coming up, like, it's about the memories, it's about the laughter, the food, the celebrating with your friends, your family. Like, it's not about the gifts. I'm not trying to take away from gift giving, gift receiving. They say the thought that counts. But at the end of the day, like, really, it's who you're with. I didn't want to take away from anyone whose love language is gifts, because you're important too. Gifts are valid too, if that's how you best receive love. I can appreciate, when you find a gift that someone will love, you're like, yes, I can't wait. Do you want your present now? Shout out to all the people out there who are like me. Such a hard time keeping it in when I know I got the perfect gift for someone. I'm like, I know you're going to love it, but I've been working on that. And shout out to my man, because he has helped me with being patient and just not saying what the gift is and waiting. And it's always super fun that way. So props to him. So yeah, with social media, it's got its great points. It does. And I mean, I use it. I do see the good points to it. I just think it's important, for me anyway, to learn where my boundaries are with it and implement those and not feel bad about it or not feel guilty. That took a time. It still hits me sometimes where I'm like, I should be more available, but I'm like, I just can't. I have to honor my peace. And if that's what I require, that's what I'm going to give myself right now. And that's all you can do. And that can be hard to navigate through as well. But at the end of the day, if you're being a good human and you're honoring what feels good for you and what's serving your highest good, then that's all that matters. So it's okay if you're not a big poster, if you don't want to post a lot. It doesn't take away from what's actually real. Social media is an illusion. Like, I'm not saying there's not real stuff out there, but it's an illusion. Like, it's not real. It's produced. It's what we want to show. And it's not that there's not real moments showcased, but it's not the be all end all. Like, there's moments in life that everybody goes through that they may not want to share. And that's okay. That's their boundary. That's where they stand with that. And it's just important, I think, for us to be open to people and get out of the mindset of if it's not shared, it didn't happen, because you can have, like I said, a whole phone full of beautiful memories and all of this stuff that you can cherish, and it's up to you what you want to do with it, you know? Share, don't share, do you. That's it at the end of the day. And just honor what feels right for you and honor your mental health, your spiritual health, everything like that. And remember to be present and move throughout your day, because it's easy to get consumed in the phone. It's, it's addictive. It's got all of that going for it, that instant gratification all the time. And it's a way to procrastinate. It's a way to escape. It's all of these things. So I think it's just something that we've got to learn how to navigate in a healthy way for us. And I know for me, taking time away from it has been the best thing ever. Like, I can't say enough good things. It's important to have the healthy boundary. Yes, I still enjoy it, but in a much different way than before. And it's much better because I just feel much more present and in tune. And of course, it's still a journey. It's not perfection. But I'm just doing what works right now. And that may change. That may look different. It may look different in 2 weeks, may look different tomorrow. It might look different in 5 years. It may never look different. Who knows? But I'm just remaining open to the whole thing and just moving in a way that works for me and not feeling too much pressure otherwise, because it's about what you choose to put out there and what you want to put out there. And you can put as much or as little as you wish to, and that's okay. And what we consume on there is also half the battle. So be mindful of the content that you're looking to. And I have to tell myself this too, is because I'll get caught up. I find it's on Snapchat mostly because they have the articles and stuff where the stories are. And I always get caught up with the celebrity articles. And I'm like, oh my God, I need to stop. But I feel like I've always read the magazines with celebrities since before social media. So I feel like that's just the next natural place. But I'm also I just think it's important to limit that kind of content. And then I like it because with my podcast Instagram page, where it's new, it's very I'm still building it and still working on it. But I see a lot more content from my friends and stuff that are on there. Whereas on my personal page, it's so cluttered and overwhelming. I rarely see the people I want. It's mostly just companies, trying to sell you stuff. So I do like that. And I see a lot of the spiritual kind of meme pages, which I really love, or the motivational, the business ones, that kind of stuff. So I really enjoy the content I see there. So I find I spend a lot more time over on my podcast Instagram because it just feels like a better space. I know that sounds weird, but I think you'll understand what I mean by that. I think that's half the battle too, is just being mindful of what you're consuming and how much you're consuming. Just keep in the healthy boundaries, because I just find it doesn't have the best impact on me when I overindulge, I guess, in pretty much any aspect of my life, right? It's important to have boundaries with anything. So I think we've had a good little tea time sesh for today, a little solo sesh to spread some sparkle, talk about some social media real talk, send out my appreciation to all the tea drinkers. Thank you so much for tuning in. Like I mentioned earlier, if you want to get social, we are over on Instagram and Facebook, The Tea with KG. Just type that in and you'll find us. If you are listening on YouTube, everything will be linked in the description box below. If you are listening via podcast platform, check out the show notes. All the links are there. I want to wish everybody love and light as they take on this December week. I know we are preparing for the holiday season, so I hope everybody is doing amazing and not putting too much pressure on themselves and just taking a step back and remembering what's important. So I appreciate you, and we will see you next week.